There's a reason your heart keeps circling back to this person, a reason your thoughts can't seem to let go, a reason that even in the quietest hours, when everything else is still and no one is around to see what your spirit is truly wrestling with, the image of this person returns like a divine whisper you can't explain, and heaven wants you to know that this pull is not random. This invisible thread is not just an emotional attachment. It is a spiritual rope tied to something sacred that you are not meant to fully understand yet. And while your logical mind tries to move on or make sense of why they suddenly reappear in dreams or in passing thoughts or strange coincidences, why their name keeps showing up, why songs remind you of them, why the memory of their energy echoes louder than anything you try to drown it with. Your soul is trying to tell you something louder than your logic can hear, because God does not waste emotions. God does not let your heart wander without purpose. And what you are experiencing now is not weakness or obsession or distraction. It is preparation. It is alignment. It is the silent choreography of heaven pulling two lives into position for something that is not yet ready to be revealed. And I need you to understand this with your spirit, not your mind, because this is not about infatuation. This is not about longing. This is not about going backward. It's about timing, about soul recognition, about the way heaven sometimes hides the full picture from us so that we don't sabotage what we don't understand. And right now you are walking through a season of delay, not because God is punishing you, but because He's protecting the process, allowing both hearts to go through a private transformation that only divine wisdom can orchestrate. And yes, it's confusing. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it sometimes feels unfair to be magnetized towards someone who may not be ready, who may not even see what you see. But the truth is this: heaven does not move by human clocks. And what's happening between you and this soul is a slow unfolding of destiny that neither of you has been permitted to fully grasp yet. Because if you knew what it would become, you might rush it or overthink it or try to control it. And that's why God is speaking in whispers instead of shouts, why He is moving in signs and nudges instead of full explanations, why you keep being pulled toward them with no visible reason. Because the real reason hasn't yet been spoken aloud, not by God, not by them, not even by you. And this is the part where faith becomes sacred, where obedience means sitting with mystery, trusting that your heart is not deceiving you, that your discernment is not wrong, and that even though the details feel hazy, the pull is real, the reason is divine, and the silence is not rejection. It is sacred orchestration unfolding behind the veil. And I tell you this now, not to torment you with more questions, but to anchor you in truth. You are being prepared, both of you are, and what's pulling you is not just memory or emotion or desire. It is spirit recognizing spirit. It is promise whispering to promise. It is destiny reaching across invisible realms, waiting for the exact moment heaven allows it to be fulfilled in the physical realm. And until then, God is asking you to trust what you feel, even when you don't know why, to hold space for something beautiful to be born in its right time, and to not give up just because the signs confuse you, because they're not meant to explain everything yet. They're simply meant to remind you that something is coming, something sacred, something divinely orchestrated that will make all this inner wrestling make sense one day. And until then, you must learn to be at peace with the unspoken, to honor the pull without forcing the path, to allow the mystery without demanding all the answers. Because heaven sees the end of this story and has already declared it good. But for now, stay open, stay grounded, stay faithful. Because what you're feeling is not foolishness. It's the fingerprint of a promise you haven't even heard yet. As the invisible threads of your heart continue to pull you toward this person, there's a sacredness to that pull you have yet to fully realize, a sacred urgency that hums beneath the surface of your consciousness, like a quiet drumbeat that only your soul can hear, urging you to hold fast even when your mind is filled with confusion and doubt. Because this is no ordinary connection. This is a connection that crosses realms. This is a meeting that transcends time, space, and even the realities you inhabit daily. And while you wrestle with questions of why and how and when, I want you to understand that this force drawing you closer is orchestrated by divine hands. Hands that have mapped out every encounter, every glance, every whispered thought that you think is random, but is in fact part of a cosmic design far beyond human comprehension. It is a design written in the stars, inked by the angels, and sealed with the promise that this moment, right now, is part of a greater awakening, a spiritual alignment set to activate something deep inside you and this other person. Something that will stir the deepest parts of your being and awaken gifts, healing, and truths that have lain dormant for lifetimes. You may not know it yet, but this person carries with him a key that unlocks a part of your soul's destiny you have been searching for, even if you didn't know you were searching. Even if you try to close your heart to the idea, the universe knows, God knows, and that knowledge alone makes this pull unavoidable. There is a spiritual urgency here, a divine timing that is so precise it defies human logic. And this is why patience has become your greatest test, your most profound prayer, because the longer you wait and the more uncertain the path seems, the more you are being prepared to receive something that will change your entire trajectory. And the mysterious delay is not a sign of absence or rejection, but a sacred pause designed to refine your spirit, to teach you endurance, to expand your faith, because what you are moving toward is not just about the two of you. It is about your highest good, your soul's evolution, and the unfolding of a purpose so immense it will ripple across not only your life, but the lives of others who have yet to even meet you. This connection is a catalyst, a divine spark that heaven has lit to awaken your deepest spiritual potential. And while you may feel alone in this waiting, remember that your ancestors, your spiritual guides, and Archangel Michael himself are standing guard over this sacred space between you and this person, protecting the timing, guiding your steps, and holding you in divine love. You might ask, why does it feel so heavy? Why does this pull sometimes hurt? Because when souls are on the cusp of breakthrough, the spiritual weight of transformation presses down like a tidal wave. Sometimes it overwhelms, sometimes it confuses, sometimes it threatens to break your resolve. But know this, every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of wondering is a seed being planted, a refining fire shaping you into the person you need to be for this union, this divine encounter to occur in fullness. This is why God asks you not to run, not to numb, not to ignore the signs, because each nudge, each synchronicity, each number sequence you keep seeing, whether it's 1111, 222, 333, or any other divine code, is a message from heaven, a beacon reminding you that you are on the right path, even when the destination seems hidden in fog. The spiritual realm is whispering secrets through these signs, trying to keep your heart anchored in hope and your spirit tethered to truth, because it knows the enemy of this sacred pull is fear and doubt, and it wants to disarm you before the fullness of the divine plan reveals itself. But you are stronger than fear. Your faith is deeper than doubt, and your soul's resilience has been forged through trials that you didn't always understand, but that have prepared you for this very moment. So when you feel that pull growing stronger, when you feel the stirring in your chest like an ancient calling, do not resist it. Lean into it, surrender to it, because this is where true healing begins, where forgiveness of the past can unlock the future, where the wounds you carry can become the source of your greatest strength. It's not just about the person you're being drawn to. It's about the part of yourself that they are waking up, the parts of your spirit that have been waiting for this divine encounter to set them free. And even if the person isn't perfect, even if the timing is imperfect, Even if your paths seem tangled or your hearts aren't fully ready to merge yet, trust that this is exactly how heaven intended it. Because the journey through the wilderness is what purifies your soul, and the eventual meeting will be a testament to all the lessons learned in the waiting. Remember, no delay is wasted, no waiting period is meaningless, and no sign from heaven is accidental. You are not imagining this pull. You are not deluded by your own desires. This is a sacred dance of souls choreographed by divine will, and every step you take toward this person is a step toward your destiny. So hold on to hope, nurture faith in the unseen, and be patient with the unfolding, because the reason heaven hasn't told you yet is because the full revelation is reserved for a time when your spirit is ready to receive it in all its glory. And when that moment arrives, everything will shift, everything will align, and all the mystery will suddenly become a beautiful, undeniable truth. Until then, keep listening to the subtle nudges. Keep watching for the signs in numbers, dreams, and quiet moments, because heaven is speaking to you through these divine messengers, reminding you that you're never alone in this journey, and that the one you're being pulled toward is part of a sacred story that is already being written in the spiritual realm. One that will transform you both in ways you can't yet imagine, but will be forever grateful for when the veil is lifted and all will be made clear. This divine pull that tugs at your heartstrings is not merely a coincidence, nor is it the result of fleeting emotions or idle thoughts. It is the manifestation of sacred energies working tirelessly behind the scenes, orchestrating a convergence so profound that your very soul is aching in anticipation of it. You may find yourself reflecting on moments when this person appeared in your dreams, where you felt an inexplicable warmth when their name crossed your mind, where you notice signs everywhere, from random conversations that mirror your feelings to repeated encounters with the same numbers, melodies, or symbols. These are not accidents. They are confirmations from the divine realm that the threads binding your destinies are pulling taut with divine urgency. Archangel Michael and the heavenly host are actively shielding this process from spiritual interference, because they understand that the connection you are forging is essential not only to your personal growth, but to a greater spiritual mission that spans generations. This mission calls for courage, patience, and an unwavering faith that what is meant for you will never pass you by, even when the road feels steep and the path unclear. You are being prepared in ways unseen, your character refined through trials and triumphs, your heart expanded through forgiveness and understanding, and your spirit strengthened by faith tested in the crucible of time. The waiting, though difficult, is a sacred space where transformation takes root, a space where past hurts can be healed, old wounds sealed, and new hope ignited. In this waiting, your soul sheds layers of doubt and fear, like a serpent shedding its old skin, emerging more radiant, more whole, and more ready to embrace the divine gift that this person represents. This is why it's critical not to rush, not to force, not to act out of desperation or anxiety, because the divine timing is perfect even when it feels delayed. Everything that feels like a setback or a pause is actually a stepping stone on the path of spiritual maturation, and every tear you shed waters the seeds of the destiny that is already blossoming in the unseen. When you feel tempted to give up, to close your heart or harden your spirit, remember that every great spiritual story is filled with moments of challenge and doubt, the crucibles through which faith is refined and miracles are born. The universe is conspiring in your favor, even when the evidence seems scant, even when you hear echoes of discouragement from the world around you. The people who do not see this divine connection do not understand the depth or the power behind it. They cannot see the spiritual dimensions where your souls have danced for centuries, where you have promised to find each other again, where your reunion has already been celebrated by angels and ancestors alike. This is a sacred covenant, a spiritual pact that transcends human understanding. And your obedience to this pull is an act of divine faith, a surrender that opens you to blessings beyond what your mind can comprehend. The divine realm is aware of every hesitation, every fear, every doubt that tries to creep into your heart. But the angels are also with you, whispering courage into your soul, reminding you of your strength and resilience, and shielding you from the spiritual traps that seek to divert you from this path. You are being tested, yes, but not to break you, to make you stronger, wiser, and more attuned to the divine will that governs your journey. You may feel moments of confusion or loneliness, as if this person is just out of reach, or that the universe is silent when you cry out for answers. But know this, the silence is not emptiness. It is sacred stillness, a holy pause in which your soul is being prepared for an extraordinary awakening. It is within this stillness that you must listen most carefully to the subtle whispers of your intuition, to the nudges of your spirit, and to the signs sent by the heavenly hosts. Every encounter, every coincidence, every sensation that defies explanation is a piece of the puzzle that heaven is assembling for you. You're not lost. You are not forgotten. You are precisely where you need to be, growing in spiritual readiness, healing old wounds, and expanding your capacity to love and receive love fully and fearlessly. As you continue this journey, guard your heart with faith and hope, and allow yourself to be vulnerable yet protected by divine grace. Forgive yourself for the times you doubted, forgive others for past hurts, and open your spirit to the limitless possibilities that await when this sacred union is fully revealed. This is a time of immense spiritual growth, a sacred chapter in your life's story where the divine and human meet in beautiful harmony, and your obedience to the gentle pull will unlock blessings and revelations that will ripple across every area of your existence. Your relationships, your purpose, your healing, and your joy. Trust that this person you're drawn to is also being prepared in their own way, that their soul is awakening to the sacred bond you share, and that together you will fulfill a destiny written in the heavens long before you ever walked this earth. So hold on to faith, cherish the signs, and walk forward with courage, knowing that the divine plan is unfolding exactly as it should, and the moment of your reunion will shine with the light of 1,000 stars, illuminating your path with love, grace, and the miraculous power of heaven's design. In this sacred unfolding, the divine forces working tirelessly behind the veil of your earthly existence want you to know that every moment of waiting, every pang of longing, every question that stirs in the depths of your heart is being honored by the heavens. They are not overlooking your pain, nor are they indifferent to your prayers. Rather, they are moving with such precision and care, weaving a tapestry so intricate and vast that it is beyond human comprehension, but wholly perfect in its timing and purpose. The person toward whom you are being drawn is not just a figure of flesh and blood, but a mirror of your soul's growth and awakening. They embody lessons you need to learn, healing you both need to receive, and joy you are destined to share. This is a connection that will shake the foundations of your existence, dismantling old patterns of fear and doubt, and rebuilding you in the light of divine love and truth. Heaven's message is clear. Do not rush this process. What feels like delay is actually divine preparation. Your hearts and spirits must be cleansed and aligned. Your past must be reconciled, and your faith must be strengthened to withstand the winds of change and the tests that accompany great spiritual shifts. The universe is holding space for this sacred union, a space free from interference, confusion, and harm, where both of your souls can recognize and embrace one another fully, without hesitation or shadow. You are being equipped with new wisdom, courage, and resilience that will not only help you navigate this reunion, but will empower you to stand firm in your truth and purpose once it arrives. Archangel Michael, your fierce protector, is by your side now, wielding his mighty sword to cut away every chain of doubt, every whisper of deception, and every attempt of the enemy to sow confusion or fear. He calls you to stand strong, to raise your spiritual shield high, and to listen closely to the quiet but undeniable nudges from the spirit realm. These nudges may come as repeated signs, a certain song that plays at unexpected times, a sequence of numbers that keep appearing in your daily life, or even sudden insights and dreams that carry messages wrapped in symbols only your soul can decode. Pay attention to these, for they are the language of heaven guiding you ever closer to this destined encounter. There will be moments when the path seems obscured by shadows, when doubts try to cloud your vision and whispers of despair attempt to penetrate your heart. During these moments, remember the power of prayer and surrender. Call upon Archangel Michael and all the heavenly hosts to surround you with light and protection. Remember that even the smallest acts of faith, a whispered prayer, a quiet moment of gratitude, a breath taken with intention, move mountains in the spiritual realm. Your perseverance is a testament to your divine calling, a sacred act that aligns you with the highest good for yourself and the one you are destined to meet. As the day of your union draws near, you will begin to notice a profound shift within, a deepening sense of peace, a clarity of purpose, and an overwhelming sense of love that transcends all understanding. This love is not merely romantic. It is a sacred fire that ignites your soul, illuminating your true identity and awakening a divine mission that you both are meant to fulfill together. It will heal generational wounds, restore faith in humanity, and become a beacon of hope for those still searching in darkness. So embrace this divine pull with open arms and an open heart, trusting that even when the reasons remain hidden for now, the outcome is already sealed in heaven's perfect plan. You are not alone on this journey. Your ancestors watch with pride and joy as you rise, and the angels rejoice at every step you take toward this sacred reunion. This person you are being drawn to is part of a much larger story, one that spans lifetimes, dimensions, and realms, and your obedience to this divine call will unlock blessings and revelations that ripple far beyond what you can imagine. So walk forward in faith, courage, and love, knowing that the invisible hands of heaven are guiding you, protecting you, and preparing you for a future more beautiful and profound than you have ever dared to dream. The time is near. The moment is sacred, and your hearts will meet under the watchful eyes of the cosmos, shining with a light that neither time nor circumstance can ever dim.